Why eliminating the NEA would be a disaster for our country. I hail from a family deeply intertwined with the arts. My grandmother, Enid Flender, was a dancer-turned-public school teacher. My grandfather, Harold Flender, was a writer. Growing up in Manhattan Plaza, a federally subsidized haven in New York City for artists, I was surrounded by creativity. My mother, uncle, brother, and I were beneficiaries of a public school education that held the performing arts in high regard. It was in this environment that I fell in love with movies at Anthology Film Archives in East Village, immersing myself in a life where creativity was central. Yet, without the National Endowment for the Arts, NEA, I'm uncertain if I would have embraced a life as an actor. My first stage experience was with the National Dance Institute, NDI, a nonprofit organization that directly benefits from NEA funding. Established in 1976 by Jacques d'Amboise, the star dancer of the New York City Ballet, NDI integrates dance classes into public elementary school curricula and offers free summer programs. My strongest memory from NDI is learning to keep the beat to the song Cement Mixer Putty Putty. As a group, we struggled initially, but once we focused solely on what we heard and felt, synchronizing our claps was effortless. Opening our eyes to find the entire group in perfect harmony was exhilarating. This experience wasn't just about learning to perform, it was about discipline, confidence, resilience, adaptability, and teamwork, skills invaluable in any profession from law to space engineering. Currently, federal funding for the arts faces severe threats. The latest budget proposal from the White House to Congress suggests eliminating the NEA. Many theaters and arts organizations have already had their grants revoked, casting a shadow of operational uncertainty. Their survival hangs in the balance. This urgency led me to Capitol Hill with the Creative Coalition, a nonprofit arts organization, to advocate for the NEA. We met with congressional staffers whose opinions on federal arts funding were divided. Walking the halls of our nation's legislative offices and engaging with influential players was both empowering and sobering. Despite encountering resistance, some staffers argued taxpayers shouldn't support the arts. The visit reinforced my belief in the importance of arts funding. Most had cherished performance memories, underscoring that without the NEA, many middle-class children might not have had the opportunity to experience the arts. Arts funding is often the first to be cut by governments, yet it should be safeguarded as essential. Creativity gives us purpose, imagination propels humanity forward. The arts foster empathy, understanding, and connection. Access to creative expression through dance, music, painting, theater, or film enables deeper communication and bridges the shared human experience. The NEA's budget is minuscule, constituting just 0.004% of the U.S. annual budget. In contrast, smaller countries like France, Germany, and the UK invest significantly more, over $1 billion annually. Moreover, NEA grants stimulate the economy. According to the Creative Coalition, every $1 awarded generates approximately $9 in private investment or consumer spending, turning the $207 million budget into roughly $2 billion. This isn't a handout, it's an endorsement that attracts further private investment. These projects aren't just Hollywood or Broadway, they include local jazz festivals, museum exhibitions, arts education, and community theater, initiatives that enrich neighborhoods, build cultural identity, and stimulate local economies. Programs like the Miami Lighthouse for the Blind and the Visually Impaired, which offers music education and creative forces supporting arts programming for military members and veterans, are vital. The NEA is crucial for small and rural arts organizations that lack access to major donors or corporate sponsorships. 40% of NEA funding is distributed through state and local arts agencies, ensuring communities have a say in fund allocation. Without the NEA, large cities might sustain their cultural scenes, but rural and small-town projects could vanish. The recent mass resignation of senior NEA leaders following the proposed cuts is disheartening but not a cause for despair. Congress will likely still play a role in the outcome, and we can influence their decision. I'll even share the congressional switchboard number, 202-224-3121. In Washington, I learned that elected officials track feedback. These calls matter. Nearly every one of our 541 representatives has constituents benefiting from NEA grants. Now is the time to let them know the NEA must survive. Every child eager to learn a song's beat, every visually impaired person aspiring to play an instrument, and every veteran needing art therapy to recover from trauma relies on the NEA. Let's remind our representatives they're out there. On our final night in DC at a fundraising dinner, my fellow delegates from the Creative Coalition led an impromptu musical jam. The room, filled with staff members we'd met earlier, erupted in song and dance. As I looked around, the value of the arts was clear. They connect us, bring joy, and give us a shared language to imagine the future. The arts don't just entertain, they bind us, define us, and empower us to envision what lies ahead. Pauline Chalamet is an actor and producer living in Los Angeles.